Okay, and as you see, we just created a customer from VD01. Okay, so what I'll do is, in a new session, I'll also open XD01, the other screen that we saw. Okay, as far as possible, I'll try to navigate through this path so that you will know where each of these menu options are. Okay, otherwise I can directly type in XD01 and it will take you. Okay, so master data, business partner, customer, create. Okay, so as you saw earlier, we went to VD01 to create this customer. Okay, now let's see what this XD01 is about. Okay, so now you go to XD01. Okay, so just try to observe the difference between VD01 and XD01. Okay, this is VD01 and this is XD01. So if you compare in XD01, you also have a company code view. Okay, so last week I told, all the transactions that start with V, all the sales related transactions start with V. Okay, so obviously XD01 is not a sales transaction, so generally XD01 is used by FI. Okay, all this master data is used across the company. It's not, it doesn't exist in silos. Okay, in SD you will have a different master data, in MM you will have a different master data. The master data is common across all the modules. Okay, so that's why this customer master, so when FI guys are creating it, so they'll be doing from this XD01, which also has a company code view and which has company code related information. So if I go back to this picture here, so there are three different views for a customer. One is general data, that is valid across all the organizational units. The second is the sales area data, which is only valid for this particular sales area, and company code data, which has all the relevant accounting relevant data, and that is at a company code level. Okay, for each company code you will have a different record. So now let's enter the company code that we created. Oh, sorry, ZA. Okay, I'm just trying to pull up the company code that we created last week. Okay, so now you see company code data also here. Earlier you are only seeing this sales area data tab. So now you also see the company code data tab. So it means that you can also maintain company code related data. So I'll just enter something to go past this screen, because if you don't enter this data, it won't allow you to go to the next screen. Okay, so I just entered some data. So it's saying there is another customer with the, so this message is nothing but to make sure that you're not creating a duplicate entry. Okay, now if you select company code data, so it has all the FI related information. Okay, what is the account to which this customer's transaction should be posted? So if you see here at the top, here you are seeing customer and a company code. Okay, so this view is at a company code level. Okay, what are the terms of payment for this customer? All that stuff. Okay, so you just save it. Okay, it's things are mandatory. Okay, that's how you create a customer. So now you created a customer for this company code and for sales area. Okay, so that's the difference between XD01 and VD01. So now similarly again you can go to, what we did is we went to create mode and created a customer. Okay, so now you can go to change mode, which is VD02, like as I listed here. Okay, VD02 is change, and let me take this, the one that I created earlier, so it's 6. Okay, so if you want to change something, you can change something here. Okay, similarly again VD03 is display, so you won't be able to change anything. Okay, now all the fields will be grayed out on the screen, so you will not be able to make any changes. Okay, just for your reference, there are some more customer master related transactions. Say you want to block a customer. Okay, so say for example we have a customer, say we Circuit City is a customer of Apple. Okay, Circuit City was not now, but earlier it went through bankruptcy issues and lot of credit issues. Say due to this credit issues we don't want to sell to that customer. So in that case you can block a customer for a short period of time. Okay, and the other one is flag for deletion. Flag for deletion is nothing but the concept with SAP is it doesn't allow you to physically delete the master data records. Okay, once you enter the master data in the system, you cannot like physically delete it from the database. You can only you can only mark it as flag for deletion. Okay, so I want to delete this customer, so your client comes and tells you, hey, can you please delete this customer? So it means that you can only flag for delete. Okay, so these are all the different options that you have. Do you want to delete it for all the sales areas, or do you want to delete it only for this sales area? Okay, if you do it, it will only be deleted for this sales area, and for the remaining sales areas it will work as usual. But if I select all areas for all the different sales areas, say for example you have another sales area ZAUS A1 or ZAUS A2 A2. Okay, that is another sales area, so in that will also be deleted. Okay, so that's how you set a deletion flag, which means that you will not be, once you set a deletion flag and you try to create a sales order, you will get an error. Okay, say for example I set a deletion flag here and I'm trying to create a sales order. Okay, again we'll come back to the sales order, but I just want to explain you the concept of deletion flag for now. Okay, don't worry about what I'm entering here and everything, but just wanted to show how the deletion flag will be reflected. Okay, so this is the customer. Okay, so you're getting a message saying that this customer is marked for deletion. Okay, so that's what happens when you mark it for deletion. Okay, so that's how you create a customer. Like as I told, we haven't yet configured it, so now let's go to the configuration view and see how we can play around with the configuration. Yeah, Venkat, it's all the configuration will be done in the SPRO screen, which I am going to go now. And so yeah, XD01 it depends. For sure you will not have access in production for sure, but in test environments you might have access depending on the client. But in the XD01, but if you are making any changes, you have to coordinate that, at least the company code view. You have to coordinate those changes with the FI consultant. You should not go and change that account and all that stuff there. So you should always coordinate with the FI people there. Okay, the place where you configure a customer master is any configuration, you go to SPRO. Okay, SAP reference IMG. Okay, all the SD objects will be in sales and distribution tab, but the exception is the customer master that we are discussing now. Okay, the customer master configuration will be in logistics general. Okay, logistics general, business partner, customers control. So this is where you create or you configure the customer master. So I'll take a screenshot of this. Okay, logistics general is the main tab, and then you go to business partner, go to customer control, and this is the tab that you need to go to. Customer master configuration. Okay, so the first is this is the main thing, define account groups and field selection. So you just click on it. Okay, so see, if you observe, all these groups are nothing but the groups that you're seeing on the front end. Okay, all the account groups that you see here, okay, you will be seeing it here, because you need to initially create those in the configuration here, and these will be reflected in the easy access menu. So what I want to do is, I want to create my own sold to party, just for our practice purposes. I'll create a new account group for sold to party, a new account group for goods recipient, payer, and bill to party. Okay, like as all the remaining stuff, select it, select the one that is closest to your functionality that you are doing. Okay, I want to create a sold to party customer. So that's why what I'll do is, I'll obviously the closest one is the SAP given 0001. Okay, as you gain expertise, you will know what are all the objects that you can copy from. But for all the standard ones, generally they are evident. So if you are obviously creating a ship to party, so then you come here, copy it, and create a new one. Okay, so you copy as. Okay, what I'll do is, I'll create it as ZA01. Okay, I'm just giving a different description so that I can identify it. Okay, so now I created a new account group, ZA01. Okay, so see this number range. So when we created a customer, if you remember, it automatically assigned a number range. It automatically assigned a number to that customer. Okay, so how did that customer, how did that number come up there? Is based on this number range. Okay, let's go and see how we can configure the number ranges. Okay, I'm going back and I want to save the changes that I did. Okay, so in the same menu path, so you go to define and assign customer number ranges. Okay, so I want to define a number range. Okay, for number ranges, okay, then this number ranges concept will be common across all SAP. So even later when we are doing sales order configuration, so we'll be using the same concept there when we are configuring the sales order number ranges also. Same with delivery, same with invoice, same with material master. Okay. So again, this is display. Whenever you see this glasses indicator, it's display, and this pencil indicator is a change. So I want to change because I want to create a new number range. Okay, so these are all the number ranges that are currently available in the system. Say you want to create a new one, So to create a new one, you have to first identify a number range that is available. Okay, you identify the number range that is available and then create a new one. Generally, because this is test system, people, for practicing, everyone will create a number range. But in your projects, the number ranges will be sequential. So you, as soon as you look at this, you will know what is the number range that is already we are using and what are all the number ranges that are still available. Okay, so what I will do is, okay, I'll create a number range from 7000 to 79999. Okay, so the way how you create a number range is you go to this plus indicator and the from number from 7 okay, so I am telling from this number to this number, and you have to assign a unique identifier here. So I say y1. So I am telling that this number range y1 holds the numbers from this to this, and now you have to assign this y1 to your customer account group. Okay, so you save it here. Okay, now go back. Okay, go to define account groups again. Okay, sorry, position is if you want to, if you know at least the first couple of letters, so you can directly go navigate directly to it. Okay, so ZA01, so this number range, so now if I assign y1, okay, now if I assign y1, any customer that I am going to create for this account group ZA01 will use this number range. Okay, will use this number range starting with 7, whatever this number is, 70000 will be the first customer. The next customer that I will be doing is 700000123, so it will use this number. Okay, you see another indicator here called external. Okay, EXT. Okay, now I assign this number range. Now again go back. Okay, go to define number ranges, and I'm going to the intervals to view the interval. Okay, so if you check this in external indicator, okay, just go to the y1 that we did. See, if you say, for now I'm just clicking on, I'm checking this external number range. So this means that you should manually type in the account number. So earlier, if you remember, you were seeing in the, before we saved it, you are seeing internal. So it means that SAP is going to automatically assign the number based on this available number range. Okay, so it will start with this number and then it will keep on incrementing 111 if you are doing internal. Okay, whereas if you check this external flag, this means that you have to assign or you have to enter a customer number before you even go into the next screen. So for example, okay, I'm just taking this and I try to create a customer. See, this says account group goods recipient uses external number assignment, so specify an account number. Okay, that's what happens when you check this indicator, when you make this as checked. Okay, the business reason or the project scenarios where you use internal number ranges versus external number ranges is, as a general rule of thumb, you will always use internal number ranges. Okay, because you don't want, you cannot keep track, right? So if you want, leave it to the user's discretion to enter the customer number, so you will not have track of what are the numbers that are used. And okay, on the other hand, if you do it internal, so SAP will automatically, it will start with this number and it will just keep on incrementing. Okay, say for example this is an internal number range and it started with 102,001 and then someone created 4 customers using that number range. So that's why the current number is 102,005. So the next customer that I will be doing, it will be 102,006. So that's what happens when you do an internal number range. Okay, the business reason or the real project scenario where you have to use an external number range is, say you are implementing SAP or and you want to transfer all your legacy data into the SAP environment. Okay, say a client is currently using JD Edwards and so in JD Edwards they have different customers and they want to use the same customers again in SAP. Okay, they want to use the same customers that they are currently using in JD Edwards, same customer numbers. Okay, so in that case, generally in that case, what you will do is you will be converting all the customers into SAP through an interface. You will write a custom interface for that requirement, and you will transfer all the customers from JD Edwards to SAP. So that interface will be creating all the customers in SAP. Okay, so in that case you have to use an external number range because you are using you are using a predetermined number. You don't want SAP to automatically determine the number, but you are using some predetermined numbers. So those are the cases that I saw where clients will be using external number ranges. But other than that, no one really wants to use an external number range because it's very messy and you don't know, you will not have any track of the records that you're creating. Okay, so that's about number range. So the same explanation holds true for all the number ranges that I told earlier, customer master, vendor master, okay, sales orders, everywhere. So now again let's go back to the account group that we created. Okay, this is the account group that we created. Now you see the field status. So we define the number range. No, so no, it doesn't. So this is the question. It doesn't directly interact with the database. Everything goes through the application layer. Okay, so the programs that you write, it will submit all the customers from this legacy system to the application layer, and application layer will take care of creating all these in the database layer. Okay, so for that, for conversions, generally there are different ABAP tools called LSMW, Legacy System Migration Workbench. Okay, or some clients they use iDocs that we are briefly going to see later. So there are multiple, because that's a common requirement that you see in different projects. So there are some standard processes on how you do that. Okay, so the next is the field status. So here you see general data, company code data, sales data. So if you remember, these are the 3 different views that in our customer master. Okay, so now let's double click on general data. Okay, now these are the different, if you remember again, these are the different tabs that we saw on our customer master screen. Okay, so just for your reference again, I'll go to a customer that we created earlier. See, because I marked it for deletion, so it's even when I go to this customer master change mode, it's giving you a message. Okay, so these are the tabs that you are seeing: address, communication, control. The similar tabs you will be seeing it here. Okay, now just double click on this, and if you see, you are seeing all the fields. So name, okay, search term, name to, all the fields that you see here. You can specify what are all the required entries, what are all optional, and if you want to suppress it. Okay, say for example you don't want to display the search term field, you just suppress it. Okay, it will not at all be visible. And say except name, I want to make all the remaining as optional. I want to, so for example, now postal code and city is mandatory. So this is the reason why earlier you were seeing these fields as mandatory, like this transportation zone. Okay, that's the reason why, because they are configured that way. So that's the reason why you are seeing those as required entry on the front end. Okay, now I made some of those as optional. Similarly, again you can play around, like communication tab. Okay, control, marketing, again all the fields. So if you want to make any of those as required, you just go and change the option there. So now I go back. Okay, now I go to sales area data. So similarly, again sales area data also we saw these tabs: sales, shipping, billing. Okay, if you remember, shipping conditions okay, if you remember here in the shipping tab, shipping conditions was required entry, because it's marked here as required. So that's the reason why system is asking you to enter that value. Okay. So now you go back, and similarly again billing also, basically all the data that you see on the front end customer master screen, you will be able to access all those fields here. So you can configure it based on the client's requirements. Okay, but you should know that this is the place where you need to come and make the changes. Okay, this text part, we will come back to this later when we do text determination. And this customer pricing procedure is also a very important field. Like as I told, in pricing, this is one of the most important fields. So I will come back to this when we do pricing again. And partner determination procedure. And partner determination procedure, it basically determines what are the different roles that this customer can play. Okay, if you remember here, if you go to sales area data, okay, in the partner functions, you saw all the different partner functions or partner roles that this customer can play. So that is determined by this partner determination procedure. Okay, in SD again you have a concept called partner determination, that we are going to study partner determination also in detail. Okay, so that's the customer master configuration. Now I save it. Okay, so now I created an account group for sold to party. So as soon as I create it here, you should be able to see it on the easy access menu. So now let's go to VA01 and see if the account group we just created is available or not. So now I go to VD01, or you can go through this menu path. Okay, master data, business partner, customer, create. Okay, so here actually directly if you see here, unless you know the description, say for example I know the description, so I can pick it here. So if you are not able to find the account group that you created, okay, you need to go to this overview, and again in your projects you will not be finding these crazy number of sold to parties, ship to parties and all that stuff. Okay, there will be limited number of account groups, and even if there are more account groups, everything will have a meaning. Okay, in projects you won't be seeing like 20 or 30 different sold to parties just with this kind of numbering. Okay, so if you click on this account group overview, so now you can see the account group that you created. Okay, so I'll search with ZA01 is my account group. So enter your account group and see, this is the account group that we created, and this is the lower limit, because this lower limit and upper limit comes from the number range that we assign to this account group. Okay, so now let's select this and say for now I am not entering any sales area data. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now if you try to create a customer without entering sales area, you will not be able to create a sales area menu, the other view that I was talking about, sales area view, because you didn't specify the sales area data. So without that you cannot create a sales view, right? So that's the reason why if you enter a customer, just a customer number without entering the sales area, so we will not be seeing a sales area view. Say I'll create a customer, say Walmart or something. Okay, I'll say Bentonville, Arkansas. Okay, now if you just save it. Okay, so now you see, now the number range is 7000. Okay, this picked up because due to the number range that we assigned. For simplicity, what I'll do is I'll go back and change the number range to something smaller. Okay, so I'll change the number range to this guy. Okay, I don't like external number ranges, so I'm just changing it to this guy so that it's a 5 or 6 digit customer number and it's easy for us to remember. Okay, so that's how you create a customer and you configure it. So now we created a customer who is a sold to party. Now let's try to create a different type of customer who will be a ship to party. Okay, so again the same thing, copy and do copy as and ZA02. I'll just say, if you see the configuration and everything will be the same. Okay, now let's try to create a customer with ZA02 tab. ZA02 account group, and let's see what comes up there. So now again I go to VD01, and now you should see a new account group with ZA02. Okay, so now this is the account group that we created. Okay, if you observe here, if you observe for ZA02, because we copied it from 0002, the number range is also copied. So the number range here is external number range. Okay, say if you want to go back and change it, how do you change it? Is you go to number ranges and you go to define number ranges and go to change mode, and you just take out this tick mark now and save it. Okay, now let's now again it will not be refreshed, so again you go to VD01. Okay, again go to VD01 and select ZA02. See, now you see the external indicator is gone, so now the system will automatically assign a number. Okay, now I want to enter the sales area now. Sorry, because I'm using this ZF, so that's why it's giving that error. So I'll use a different customer. Minneapolis, country US. Okay, now let's go to the sales area tab and let's see the difference now. Okay, now observe the difference between the customer that we created earlier and the fields that you are seeing now, because you are trying to create a ship to party customer. 002 is 002 is for a ship to party customer, So that's the reason if it's a ship to party customer, the reason that customer exists is only for shipping it. You will not be billing for that customer, or you will not be paying to, he will not be paying to you. The only reason why that customer is created in your system is to ship the goods to him. Okay, so that's why if you observe the billing documents tab and everything, you will not have all the data here, because the reason is because you don't need it. You just need the shipping address of this guy and the shipping conditions of this guy. The shipping, if you see the shipping tab will have all the required information, but sales and billing tab, you will not have all the information. Okay, hope you are able to differentiate between these types of customers. Okay, so I think there is some error in the partner function, but if you again see the partner function, you earlier that customer, let me open that customer so that it will be clear to you. Okay, say this customer which we created with account group ZA01 can play the role of a sold to party, ship to party, bill to party and payer, but this guy can only be a ship to party. He only can receive the goods. You cannot create a sales order for this customer. Okay, so that's how the customers are differentiated in the system using this account group. Okay, I'll unmute everyone. So if you have any questions, let's discuss, and if you need me to re-explain any of this stuff, I'll do. Yes. Yes, yeah. So you go to the configuration path, so you go back. Okay, so again go back. Yeah, you go to define the same path from where you are defining the account groups. So you go to the account group that you created and just double click on it and go to the field status and select the, you should know these are basically tabs. These are kind of related to the tabs that you are seeing on the front end on the customer master screen. So for this control, say I want to suppress some of these fields. Okay, vendor and corporate group. You click on suppress and you save it. And if you want to make, okay, if you want to go back, this is for going back, and say if you want to make something as required, you select required entry, and if you want that field to be grayed out, not to be available for input, the field will still be on the screen, but it will be grayed out for input. You cannot enter anything. So then you use this display indicator. Okay, so I save this, and now I made the changes to this ZA01. So make sure that we select ZA01 account group. Okay, so earlier if you remember all these were mandatory, so now you are only seeing this name and country as mandatory. Okay, now if you see the vendor field is grayed out. Okay, you are still seeing this field, but it's grayed out, it's not available for input. So generally this is used in your projects or client places when you are populating these fields from back end. Okay, from a program, if you are populating this field and you don't want the users to edit these fields, okay, so in those cases you just make those as display fields. Okay, so again on the same line, say I want to hide it. Okay, you want to suppress it, so just click on suppress, and again you have to go back and come into the customer master. Okay, so now if you see, those fields are completely suppressed. You will not be seeing those fields. Okay, so just create the account groups and make sure you play with those. You will get a feel of this configuration, and you can see how the configuration is reflected on the front end. Okay, so yeah, any more questions? Okay, and I also hope everyone now understood the clear difference between what we do in an easy access screen and what we do in a SPRO screen. Okay, so all the configuration customization will be done in the SPRO screen, and the easy access menu is where you will see all those changes reflected. Okay, so that's about the customer master. So if you go, let's go through the notes. Allows you to hide certain fields in the end user screen or make them as required. You define in the configuration, you define account group and assign the number range, and you assign text. And one-time customer is, I will come back to this when we do the sales order. Okay, one-time customer, you can also configure your customer as a one-time customer. So for example, some businesses, they will have a customer with whom they are not going to do a business with. So in those cases, it's not required to save all these entries in their system. Okay, so in those cases, you will use this concept of one-time customer. Okay, and these are the different partner, different roles that a business partner can play: sold to party, ship to party, bill to, and payer. Okay, the account group, it defines the type of customer. Okay, so and okay, these are the important transactions, and I also want to show you the tables that are important. Okay, so all this data will have to be stored in database tables, right? So you, as a consultant, as a functional guy, you should at least know. I mean, it's not mandatory, but it's a really big advantage if you know all these tables in which all this data is stored. Okay, so the way how you can view that data in a table is, you can go to SC16N. SC16N is to view the contents of a table. Okay, go to SC16N and KNA1 is for the general data. So KNA1 is the customer master general data. Okay, let's see the customer that we created now. 100 something, 100186 is the customer that we created. Okay, also observe the key, the fields that you see in a blue color. I don't know if you are able to see it, but the fields that you are seeing on blue, they are the key for this table. Okay, so now I am just entering the, so this is the screen from which you can view the contents, and you have to enter the table name. Okay, and these are all the fields in the table. Okay, basically again all these fields are the fields that you see on the customer master screen, and this is the general data, only the general data. All the fields that you see in general data tab, you will find in this table again. Now you enter the customer number and you just execute it. Okay, so if you want to go details, you can just double click on it. Okay, just double click on this line, and it's showing you the customer. Okay, you'll as you work in SAP, so you'll know all these names also. Not all, but Kunnar is like the customer number field. Yes, I'll also list some important fields. So even if you don't remember, at least later when you finish the course, if you review the documentation, so you'll remember this. So customer master, sorry, customer number. Okay, similarly Lifner is the vendor number. Okay, these are German names, so that's why you won't find these related to English. Okay, all these field names will be in German. Okay, so earlier actually a lot of code, the ABAP code also used to be in, not code, but the comments used to be in German. And even now some of the old SAP programs you still see the code written in German. So but now in the latest version, at least most of the code, most of the comments have been converted to English. So earlier it used to be very difficult to decipher the code, some of the code that is written. Okay, so this is your account group. Okay, the account group is the the customer account group that we selected when we created a customer master. Okay, this is my user ID and this is the date on which I created. Okay, the deletion flag, because we marked it as deletion, so system will not delete directly from the database table, it will just mark it for deletion. Okay, it's the transportation zone that we entered in, so all the data that you enter there will be stored in this table. Okay, and again this SE16 is a very good utility tool. Say for example I want to look up all the customers from this number range to this number range. You give a from and to value. Okay, it's kind of in other systems maybe you will be writing a SQL to get this data. So here you do it everything kind of from a reporting screen. Okay, now if I do this and execute, now it will give you the list of all the customers from this number to this number. Okay, so these are all the customers that are available. Okay, similarly again you can search on other attributes. Say for example I want to find all the customers that are created today. Okay, so you need to go to created on field. You go to created on and see, whenever you see this indicator, if you click on it, it will give you the available options. I want to look up all the customers that are created today. Okay, and now click on it and see this symbol is execute. So if you execute, see these are all the customers that we created today. Okay, not just me, but like in the system all the customers that were created. So I want to check all the customers that are created by me today. Okay, my user ID is 194. So if I enter my user ID, so it will give me all the customers that I created today. Okay, so this is the database table for general data, and this is KNVV is the database table for the sales area data. Okay, I think I have that table also here. Yeah, KNVV is the table for sales data, sales view. Now observe the key here. Now the key for this table is customer master and the sales area. So it means that you can have multiple sales views for each sales org, distribution channel and division combination. Okay, again the same thing. If you enter the customer that you created, okay, now let me try to pull up a customer that is created across. Okay, now this is a customer that is created across the same customer is created. It has two views. It's created for 3020 1000 and it's also created for 3020 3000. Okay, two different sales areas. Okay, so all the data that you are entering in the sales view tab will be stored here. Okay, all your shipping conditions, all the billing data, sales data that you are entering there, it will land up in this table. Okay, so at least these are the two tables that I recommend remembering. K and B1, maybe you don't need to remember that at this point, but I just gave you the list, the important list. Okay, at least try to remember KNA1 and KNBB for now, and the place where you look up the data is SC16, or you can even go to SC16. SC16N is more user friendly, so that's why generally I use that. Okay, you can go to SC16 also. Okay, so you enter your table name and you can select the fields on which you want to query the database table. Okay, and so now again you enter your customer number, whatever customer that we have been using. Okay, you just enter the customer number here and just execute, and the same results will come up, but it's just SC16N is, it has a very user friendly view. Okay, and one other important, these are ABAP transactions, so one other important transaction that I recommend remembering is SC11. Okay, SC11 is to view the data dictionary. Okay, SC11, say I want to go KNA, I want to look up the structure of the table, so I go to KNA1, database table is KNA1, and click on display. See, these are all the fields that are available in this table and what are the data types, what are the data types, length and everything. So this table, this view SC11 will give you all that information. Okay, and you will not be able to make changes to the standard tables. Okay, SAP will ask you for the access key. Okay, so that's about customer master configuration and where all this data is stored. Okay, see, again I gave more explanation about sold tos and ship tos. So I'll open up the line, so if you have any questions we'll discuss, if not we'll go to material master. Okay, then if you have any questions, just send me a ping in the chat window and I'll unmute you. Okay, so till now we discussed about customer master, and now let's go to the other important master data object, material master. Okay, the transaction code for that is MM01. Material master transaction code is MM01. Okay, in customer master I think we just saw only 3 screens, but in material master you'll be surprised with the number of views that are available. Okay, now go to, either you can type in MM01 or go to logistics. Okay, again master data, products, material. Okay, so these are specific transactions for the material types, but let's not worry about those. Only you can access all these remaining transactions for MMO1, so don't worry about remembering all the, like all these MMH1, MMN1, so all this stuff we don't need to remember. So okay, only MM01. Again the same thing. MMO1 is create, O2 is change, O3 is display. Okay, so here you need to select the industry sector. You can basically select anything, so I'll select retail. And material type is, what is the type of material? Is it an apparel? Okay, is it a coupon, and is it a drink? Is it a packaging material? Generally we use finished product for testing, sorry, for our create this data creation purposes. So for now we'll use this, so I'm just putting a screenshot of it. Okay, now hit enter, and see, these are all the different views that you have in a material master. Okay, you have again how you have a general data in customer master, you have basic data. Okay, this basic data is valid across all the sales orgs, all the purchasing organizations, all the company codes. That is basic data. And sales data, so you see all the three tabs here that are relevant to sales and distribution. Okay, then you see a purchasing tab, then you, like all these are purchasing related information, MRP1, MRP2, MRP3, MRP4, all those have purchasing related information. And then you have, for production planning, you have forecasting, work scheduling, those views. Okay, and then for the storage, warehouse management, okay, accounting, all that you have different views here. Okay, to start with, we'll only create these four views: basic data and sales organization views. Okay, now select that and click on enter. Okay, now based on the data, based on the views that you selected in the previous screen, it is asking you for the organization levels. Okay, enter the plant that you are using, and enter the sales org that you are using, and enter the distribution channel. Okay, if you want to use the same values all the time, you can just select default values. Okay, so it will automatically fill up these values whenever you come to the screen. Okay, so now if you see, the material number is auto assigned, so I'll say iPhone 4G or something. That is the material description. And what is the unit of measure? Okay, generally unit of measure, each is nothing but it's a unit of quantity. Okay, each generally in SAP they call it eaches. Okay, and then let me again go back to the basic data screen. Okay, then you can maintain the gross weight. Okay, I'll say 3 lbs. And what is the net weight of it? Okay, if you want to enter the volume and all that stuff, you can enter it. Okay, and then see, these are all the views that are available, but what the views that we are currently working on are basic data view, sales org 1, sales org 2, and sales general plant view. Okay, and again you can have quantity stipulations like minimum order quantity. So for you as a business, it doesn't work out if you deliver this quantity, if you deliver this material in lesser quantities. Okay, so if you want to make sure that your sales guys should only enter sales orders for this material if the quantity is greater than say 50 eaches. Okay, so this is the minimum order quantity. So if you try to enter a sales order with less than 50 eaches, the system will give you a message. saying that this material, the minimum order quantity for this material is 50 eaches. Okay, so similarly again the same thing with delivery. Okay, so again you'll have some more data here at the sales org view. So all these fields will be used in different applications like material pricing group, okay, account assignment group. So we'll come back to some of these again. Like account assignment group, you will be using, this is how the postings are made to FI using this field. Okay, so we'll come back and I'll then show what this field means when we discuss that concept, because now if I even tell, it doesn't make much sense to you. Okay, so even when you practice this week, what you do is you go here and just enter the data that's mandatory, that the system is the data that is mandatory. Okay, so again now I go to the next tab, which is sales and general. Okay, this availability check is another concept that we are going to come back to, and transportation group is related to shipping data. Okay, so this will be used when doing the transportation planning, how you want to ship this material. Okay, loading group is how you want to load this material. Okay, when you are doing the delivery, how you want to load this material. Do you want to load these materials using cranes, forklifts, or manually? How you are going to load this? Okay, select anything, it doesn't matter for now. And now this completes the screen that I wanted to do, and now save. Okay, so now you created a material 1509 is created. Again the same thing, you can go to change mode. Okay, and one other thing is this change also you can do it immediately, or you can schedule it. Okay, say for example, so, there are some attributes that you want to activate it from April 1st. Okay, then you can schedule that. So you can schedule the changes so that you don't need to remember to log into the system on April 1st and make the change. Okay, so you can schedule those changes. Again you need to select the views that you want to do. Okay, so again if you select default views, it will automatically fill up those fields. Okay, now if you see, it's automatically pulling up these values because earlier I selected default values. Okay, now it will just show you all the data that we created. Okay, the same thing is display. Okay, now if you see, the views are coming up automatically. Okay, so that is the display mode. Okay, so these are some of the important material master tables. So kind of how we saw for KNA1. These are important material master tables. Okay, again the same thing. You can go to SE16 or SE16N and enter Mara and say I want to pull up the materials that I created today. You just enter. You don't need to enter the key always. You can enter any of the field values and system will pull up. Okay, now I entered created on date, so now it gave you 2 materials that were created today. Okay, that completes the material master. So I'm planning also to complete vendor master also today. If anyone of you have any other appointments, let me know, I'll stop. If not, it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. It's because vendor master is completely a purchasing master data object. I'll be just giving you an overview, and if you have any other appointments, let me know. Okay, then I'm getting couple of messages from others, So we'll start with vendor master tomorrow. Okay, the agenda for tomorrow is we'll complete vendor master. This completes the master data, and then we are going to do a sales or SD document overview. First, what I am going to do is I'll create the complete scenario from inquiry to invoice. Before going to configuration, I'll discuss on a high level, and then if possible tomorrow or the next class we are going to do a sales deep dive, sales order or sales document configuration deep dive. Okay, yeah, I'll put this right now in the Dropbox, so you should be able to pull this. And I think last week I also added some configuration guides and end user stuff to the Dropbox. So if you have any questions, or if you don't have access to Dropbox or access to SAP, send me an email or give me a call. Okay, then thanks for your time, guys. Like as I told, if you have any questions, make sure you practice this stuff. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning 10 o'clock. Hello. Chappu. Yeah, చూసా ఓకే, నేను లింక్ పంపిస్తానులే ఇప్పుడు. ఓకే ఓకే, యా అదే నేను లింక్ పంపిస్తాను, వస్తుందిలే ఇప్పుడు. అంటే ఆ మెటీరియల్ అంతా పెట్టట్లేదు, నీకు పంపిస్తానులే మళ్ళా. యా, అంటే ఈ క్లాస్వి పెడుతున్నాను, అంటే కొన్ని మరీ కాపీరైటెడ్ ఉంటాయి కదా, వాటిలో పెట్టకూడదు కదా. యా, నీకు పంపిస్తానులే నేను. యా అదే